Hello, Monarch fans. Welcome back to the Hudson Homers podcast. I'm Gary, joined as always by CB. We will have Coach Finwood joining us here in a little bit, and then Zach Leite is our player guest this week. CB, how was your weekend?
It was good. Saw some high school baseball. That was fun. Saw Cape Henry a few times. Saw Lansdowne, so I got to see one of our guys, Cam Tellefson, who's coming to us next year. He's a massive first baseman. He had a great 3-hit day with a double. Lansdowne beat him. So it was pretty good. Yeah, I got to see Bailey Matella's younger brother, Harley, play for the first time. That was cool. Pitched a couple times, both games I saw. And saw some ODU royalty, and Tim Hummel is out there coaching with Cape Henry, and his brother Rusty, also an ODU alum as a pitcher, and saw both of them with their sons of the team. So it was a good time.
That's awesome. I think the first baseman, you pointed him out to me at War
Yeah.
Memorial a couple weeks ago. And yeah, you can't convince me that kid's like 17, 18 years old.
Yeah, he's a monster. I saw him. He was at like a fall ball game, and I didn't even recognize him because I hadn't seen him since the spring, and he got even bigger. Like he was already a big kid and got bigger. So yeah, he's hopefully get him and Tanner Shado, a couple of big dudes from right here in the 757.
Yeah, that would be a nice addition. A big towering figure at first base. Because man, if he can swing it if he can swing it the way his size is, he's going to hit a lot of home runs for us. So excited about that. Excited about the future. I know you're catching a little bit of baseball after we record tonight too, right?
Yeah, trying to get over to Greenbrier Christian, Jackson Okonkwo, who's another one of our local kids who's played with him and Cam, played together since they were little kids. He said he's pitching tonight. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll bust over. So I'll be rude to Gary as soon as this is over and say, all right, good job. And then exit immediately and go run over. I told him he's got to pitch more than 2 innings so I can get over there and see him.
Yes, yeah. We'll get you over there quickly. I have to do similar things with work travel this week. And of course, getting back into town Thursday night so I can drive down to Norfolk for the games at Harbor Park this weekend against Troy. I know I'll be there Friday, Saturday. I don't think I'm going to be able to stick around and make it to the Sunday game, but definitely be watching. But excited to see the guys back in action and a pretty good Troy team coming to town. But before we talk about Troy, we got to talk about the week that was. Monarchs go 1-3 this week. They lose a tough road game at ETSU. I think if you saw the video of that, you can see how that stadium plays a little bit like a bandbox. And man, they are a good hitting team in their ballpark. Then drop the first two against App State, a little impromptu doubleheader. We get the second game and salvage a win. But not the week I think we were hoping for, but I don't know if it should necessarily be unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a continuation of some of the problems they've been having. You know, they really, the pitching in general wasn't like outstanding, but it really wasn't terrible. What really was not good was our hitting. I mean, I think we had 15 hits in the second game Saturday, and I've just looked at it. We had 18 hits in the 3 games combined before that, and that's 10 in the game on Tuesday. So we had, what was that? 3 and 5. Yeah, 3 in the game on Friday and 5 in the first game Saturday. So I mean, if you're not, and we actually were putting the ball in play a lot too. We weren't even striking out much. That's the funny part. What is this? Only 6 strikeouts in the Friday, or that's the first game Saturday. Only 5 strikeouts in the Friday game. Only 7 strikeouts in the Wednesday game. So I mean, it's not like we were going up there just hacking and missing. They actually were putting the ball in play, but it was either right at guys or it just wasn't getting down. So that was a new kind of frustration that was just dovetailing with the old kind of frustration.
And I noticed from all the pitchers really we faced this week, they were filling up the zone early in the count. They were not given too many opportunities for our guys to get, plus counts, get those 2-1s, get those 3-1s. They were pitching to soft contact. They were eating around the edges and getting called strikes. And it was just tough getting a lot of soft contact. I'm happy to see we aren't striking out as much because at least you put the ball in play, something can happen. You can stay in the game. I know the first part of the season's been really frustrating. Watch some of those at-bats, guys swinging right over top of the ball, trying to hit that 97-mile-an-hour fastball that's up and in that you're never going to do anything with. So positive to see the contact. Just wish it would have been a little bit harder contact and maybe get a couple breaks our way. I think that Friday game at Boone, and we'll ask Coach Finwood when he comes on, it seemed like the wind was actually dead in Boone for the first time in recorded history because Tanner, again, hits one to the track in that game that I think on a normal wind day in Boone would have been clearing the fence by 30 or 40 feet. So not the best conditions, but App was playing in it too. And man, it can be a little bandbox there when it gets going. They know how to hit well in their park, and I feel like ETSU is pretty similar in that regard too, of just mountain baseball.
Yeah, that the kid Caleb Cross, the Friday pitcher. I mean, 7 no-hit innings, right? I mean, that guy was pretty outstanding. And like I said, it wasn't mowing guys down, striking them all out. It was just they put the ball in play and nothing getting out of it. Yeah, Tanner he's at least hitting the ball to the wall is better than not hitting the ball. I guess it's still frustrating, but it's nice to see him. He was a little bit sick down there in Auburn, so I think he's finally gotten healthy and strong again. And I like getting to play in the outfield some. He's not the most. He's not bad in the outfield. I mean, he was a shortstop most of high school, so he's athletic enough. He's just hadn't played out there a ton. But it's nice to get that bat in that lineup that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought we had a really good second game on Saturday, which is naturally the one game that I was not able to watch this entire week. So maybe I'm the bad luck when it comes to games on the road.
Well, that was the one that I was able to watch every single pitch of. So maybe we had the right mojo.
Yeah, we got to figure out this combo and get some more wins on the board here. But we had to battle a good bit in that game. We had to come back with the scoring 2 runs there in the ninth. We had to hold off App State late. They made a run, but it does feel a lot better to come out of that series with the win. But I think you said, what was it, the mud breaking? You're getting the win on the way out to feel better on the way home, but not getting the series win like you wanted. But yeah, tough to get that series win down at App.
It's hard to win a series on the road, no matter who you're playing, especially in conference. But yeah, you that's a problem of you didn't hit enough in the first 2 games to give yourself even a chance. So what they did in this third game is they hit a lot. They put the ball in play and got some great hits. Zach Leite had a 3-hit game. Jack Slater had a 3-hit. Jack Slater has been playing great lately. Scotty Young on base, I think 4 different times. TJ was on 4 times. I mean, these guys were filling it up, and the pitching did just what they needed to do. Blake wasn't amazing, but he was a senior leader. He got through it. Frankie Wright had a great outing in relief, in the middle relief, 2 scoreless when we needed them. And then Kellen and Bailey, again, they weren't perfect. They struggled a little bit, but they got through it. And sometimes that's all you can do is just get through. I mean, I was telling Kellen after that, we were at the airport after that game in Southern Miss, and I said, look, man, at a certain point, it was just like, hey, we need to not give up 3 runs before we get 6 outs. I said, sometimes that's just the math. Like, just don't give up the X amount of runs before you get X amount of outs or Y amount of outs, whatever the equations are. I'm not a math guy.
Yeah, I was not a math major either. We saw Maverick Stallings come to life a little bit at the plate for the first time this season, so that was good to see him. That's a bat we definitely need back in the lineup. But I see down below that we have a guest that has joined us now.
Hey,
Coach Finny, how's it going?
Let's
How
go.
we doing?
What's up, Finny?
Good to be back. Sorry I'm a little bit late. Navigating some traffic.
No
Had to
worries.
get that nice hat on. That's all.
Always repping.
Yeah.
Had to get it back from the dry cleaners, right?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard some of that. I heard the comment about Stallings. Yes, you're definitely right. It was nice to see him swing the bat a little bit better. We need to get him back in second half of the season shape from last year.
Yeah, he was a terror down the stretch for us last year. It felt like every bat he was going to hit a bomb, and he was huge. I'd love to see that. We were talking a little bit about how the offense looked a little bit different over the last 4 games. They cut down on the strikeouts, put more balls in play. So just wondering if you had any thoughts on the kind of a lot of pitching to soft contact. It seemed like we were getting there, filling up the zone early.
Yeah, we've been certainly working on it, and unfortunately, you don't want to hit a bunch of fungos to the infielders either, which is what we did in game 1 of the doubleheader on Saturday, man. Golly. It's just, continuing to work on trying to shorten their swings. And I was proud of how we competed at the plate in the back end of the doubleheader. And we finally got some, big hits. Kanan George had a better week swinging the bat. He drove some balls, made a couple mechanical adjustments with him, and I think it was helpful. But again, this team isn't quite put together the way most of my team are. I like left-handed hitters. And finally, after game one Saturday, I said, dadgummit, we're putting all the lefties in the lineup. We had 4, which gives you more balance in there. That's about the best we can do positionally and on a given day. But and the top was good. I mean, TJ had a good day, led off the game with a home run. He had another hit. Scotty Young had a good day. He had a couple knocks and walked twice. He was on base 4 times. And Zach Lead was 3 for 3 with the biggest one being in the top of the ninth there. Hit the double to kind of get us going with 1 out, and then Cannon doubled him in, and Ron had the big hit there to give us a 2-run cushion, which was huge. So. It's a hard place to play, App State, man. The turf's a little different. They're good. They compete. I think they do as good a job with their hitting approaches as anybody in the league. Like they are tough outs, man. Like they make you pay and they stay in the zone. And I was trying to tell our guys, they got a lot of blue pits and stuff like that. They did, but you get those when you're in the zone, not when you're bailing out or spinning off balls. You get those when you're in the zone, and that's something to learn from an opponent, which is always a good idea. We didn't, game one we didn't pitch well. I mean, Ben kind of was struggling out there. Their mound's a little different. Like they got this. It's crazy. I've never seen anything like it. They have this piece of rubber. It's a turf mound to begin with, but they have this piece of rubber on the front of it. It's just rubber, and it's raised up, and it's unusual. And Ben, we were there Thursday night in practice. The guys knew about it, and Ben was trying to figure out how to navigate it, and he did the worst thing you could do. He got over on the side of the mound where none of his stuff was balanced up. You notice he missed a lot on his arm side high. I think that was partially because of his alignment. So, and having said that, it's still a 4-0 game going into, whatever the 6th or 7th, and we just weren't getting any big hits. And, Lavari and who'd we pitch behind Lavari there? Stott didn't do the job, so they got us out of it. And then in game one, we didn't pitch poorly. I mean, Dylan threw, one, the misses were loud, though. That changeup that got hit out of the park hurt us a little bit. The positive, though, I think if you take something positive overall from the weekend, was Hubble came in that game and scored innings, threw the ball really well. And then, Blake battled his butt off. I mean, we cost him 25 pitches on defense. Which is why we played 3 different third basemen. and you don't see that every day, but routine plays. And I'm always after those infielders. Your job is to save the pitcher pitches, not add to his pitches. And both of those plays were easy plays. We just screwed them up. But he battled, man. He really battled and gave us 5 strong innings. Kept us in it. And I thought Frankie Wright and Kellen got a little bit unlucky. We struck the guy out, and it was breaking ball in the dirt and kicked away. Or they don't score in the bottom of the 8th, I don't think. And then Bailey did a good job. He after they tied it up, man, he made a huge pitch, bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Correa, who was having a pretty good weekend, and he struck him out, and then hung on there in the 9th. So. I mean, you see it across the board. A lot of teams get swept, especially on the road. And, if you can keep from getting swept, we've been saying that, and hold serve at home, then you got a chance. And so just getting that one is a big deal. So I was proud of the guys for that. And we got to, I think the other guy I didn't mention, bullpen-wise is Baines. I thought he threw the ball really well. In fact, their coach was like, oh, my gosh, we didn't have a chance against that guy.
So when he's on, he's something.
Yeah, and he's starting to become a little more consistent, He just has to stay away from the free bases, the walks and hit batters. And he's a good guy to throw behind Ben more because it's similar stuff from the complete opposite side. It's like a mirror image of itself. And down the stretch, I think, so you got Baines, you got Wright, you got Davis, you got Metella, you got some guys starting to, emerge out of the bullpen that you can count on. and that's big. So I'm happy to see that kind of coming along to go along with our starters.
Yeah, and you got to look at a lot of different arms in a game against East Tennessee. I think you used 9 pitchers, 8 or 9 pitchers. But
Yeah.
Jace Park looked pretty good to start that game. Was that kind of the plan to just basically give an inning out each, or were you hoping to get a longer look?
And it's part of it's the catch-22. Not knowing what we can depend on the weekend, we figure we need everybody available. I prefer to have him throw more than one inning, and hopefully he will tomorrow. Hopefully he'll pitch good enough to throw 2 or 3 innings. We'll see. I thought Alex Hunt was the only guy that threw in that game against East Tennessee State. That was good. I mean, Baines was okay, but it's just like the wind was blowing out, the ball was flying. We actually swung the bats pretty good, but we just didn't pitch good enough to stop them. They're a good offensive team, and at home especially. So that was a day we didn't pitch good enough. But Saturday in that doubleheader, we pitched really well, and really after I was really happy with how the guys competed in that second game, especially. That's a long day, man. I mean, 18 innings of baseball. Nobody really wants to do that. I was glad we were able to play some different guys in that second game because they were excited about playing. They weren't tired. And they got in, Scotty and TJ in particular got in and did a good job for us. So, and then Ron came back in and did the job. We're gonna try Ron out at third a little bit tomorrow. He played there some in the fall, and we just need to get some solidity going in our lineup. It's really frustrating, because I'm not built that way. Like, I prefer to have a more set lineup and know who's playing, and we just haven't been able to have enough consistency yet this year to do that. So hopefully, some of these guys that are older will get in there and, start picking it up here for us.
Yeah, I was out at a few high school games this weekend, and of course, people talk to me about ODU, and one guy was, said, "Wow, they really haven't had like that much of a set lineup." I was like, "We're dying for guys to tell Finny they need to be in the lineup every day."
Yeah,
we're not having enough guys that come up and say, "You must play me. That you can't. There's no other option for you but to play me."
Yeah, and play. You get your chance, you play well, and it's not even about. I don't need you to go 4 for 4 because baseball is hard. I just need to see competitive. I thought TJ his at bats were more competitive. We've been talking to him about that, and his grit was in there, and he sparked us. I thought Scotty Young gave us a little spark. Those guys, and we just need some toughness in there, and guys that are going to battle. And Scotty's a good defender. He can run. He can bunt. He's got to get the ball in play, which he did. And he was on base 4 out of 5 times up, man. That's winning baseball. That's what we're after.
At one time, you had both those guys on base, and I was like, man, lead hits in anywhere, they're both going to score.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Maybe we'll help Zach get more fastballs to hit too, with having some speed on base and in front of him. And Scotty's a real aggressive base runner. Of course, he overslid third base in the first inning. That cost us a run. And then he should have just kept going on the one pass ball, and he hesitated twice.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, when you're 20 feet from home plate, there's no turning back. Keep going.
No.
Turning back's not going to do anything good, I promise you. I think he'd have scored both times. But, he's an aggressive kid. He cares. He's one of our best guys in the dugout when he isn't playing, and he hasn't gotten a ton of chances. And I think now it's time to, give him some shots. Yeah. And I like left-handed hitters. I mean, it's just not a ton of good lefties. I was asking our staff, how many good left-handed starters or relievers have we seen this year across the board? Southern Miss had 2 lefty starters. I like the freshman on Sunday. The Saturday guy was below average, I thought. And, so again, back to recruiting philosophy. Like I said, I don't know how we got away from this. It's my fault because I allowed it to happen. But you get left-handed hitters, especially outfielders. Like, don't come talk to me about a right-handed hitting outfielder. I don't even want to hear about it. Unless it's like Andy Garriola and can hit it out there in the road.
Right, yeah. We'll make some exceptions.
Yeah, the outliers. You get a center fielder like a Kyle Battle or Connor Myers and somebody like that. Yeah, you make an exception for that. But, you can't have just a run-of-the-mill right-handed hitting outfielder because it's harder to get your balance then because catchers and infielders, it's harder to find left-handed hitters at those positions. You can find left-handed outfielders easier, and you need to go after those guys so you can have a balanced lineup. You know, we've just been so right-handed and just been getting chewed up by righties.
I mean, if you need a right-handed outfielder, half the time you end up it's a former infielder, like a Luke Waters guy.
100%.
You don't really need to go out and find him.
Yeah, guy you convert out of there because he can hit. And, you know, and Luke's a guy we got to get going. I mean, he's starting to show signs, and then, you know, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. His VP today in practice was good. He was better, you know, working on stuff. And he's trying, man. He just, you know, you're getting these funks like this, and you just don't know when you're going to come out of it. You know, I thought maybe he had the 2 home runs on the Saturday game at Southern Miss. Maybe he's coming out of it then, but it's hopefully he will. You know,
he has at least been making more productive outs. He's had a lot of like ground balls over to the right side, and he's probably leading the team in RBIs on like ground outs and fly outs. So at least
and you're right. And he did line out 4 times on Saturday in the doubleheader. So you know that's when it ain't going great. That's what happens, right? When it's going great, those balls bloop over to second baseman's head. And they look like line
hit one off the handle, right?
In the box score, right? Everybody goes, "Oh man, that guy was 3 for 4." You know, but when it's not going great, those are lineouts, and that's just what's happening right now. We got to just keep fighting and try to turn it around. So, you know, the Tuesdays, like you mentioned, Gary, in the pitching, we've got to understand. You know, we got to make sure our best bullpen guys, like those guys we count on, are fresh for the weekend.
Yep.
And so you probably can't throw them much in those types of games. But hopefully some of the younger guys can step up and throw the ball well. I mean, it's never easy against Virginia's offense is always very disciplined, and you know they're hard to strike out. So you got to make plays behind them, and hopefully we'll do that tomorrow night.
Speaking of Virginia, we were just looking at the stats. I was shocked to see my guy Harrison Didowick from Western Branch really scuffle him this year.
Yeah, him and Waters are similar stat lines.
Have you heard any reason what's going on, or just struggles?
No, I haven't. It's you hate seeing that when a kid turns down a bunch of money and comes back, and then that's unfortunate. That's not good for anybody. You know, because the naysayers are all, he should have signed. You know what they're doing. I mean, Virginia guys are really good coaches. I promise you, they're not screwing. And
he's a great kid too. I mean, he's a hell of a ball player.
He's just going through it. He's a fantastic ball player, and like you said, a great kid. We recruited him a lot when he was, you know, in high school, and know his dad.
Oh, I remember seeing him when he was like 14, and I was like, oh man, there's no way he's going to end up ODU. That's unfortunate. I was like, I know y'all were going after him. I know every time I was like, every time I saw him, like, ODU, man, we're pretty great. We're right here. Mom and Dad can watch you.
Yeah, we were hopeful, but so it can happen to good players, man. Good players can get in funks, and you just got to hope they can. If they go in one, they go in one earlier in the year. Maybe then they come out of it. And you know, kind of like Luke and Maverick, maybe if those guys can get going, you know, that can really be a big shot for us. So
we haven't quite reached the halfway point. That's kind of more or less this weekend. So I mean, there's plenty of season left to do some stuff.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. So, and you know, 21 conference games left. So, you know, you figure you probably got to win 11 of them or thereabouts to get in the tournament. And so, you know, you got to play a little bit better than 500 baseball and give yourself a shot.
Yeah. And I think you were talking about the coaching staff at UVA. I think Oak got 900 wins after they swept Stanford over the weekend. So, I think he's
that's awesome.
Doing some good stuff there. I was going to ask you too, Jack Slater caught the second doubleheader, which he may have been catching on Sunday if it would have been on Sunday anyway, but he had 3 hits. And I think that's kind of been a missing piece of the lineup a little bit, is offensive production from that catcher spot.
No doubt. Jack had, you know, our best offensive day of the year behind the plate, and that was good to see. And again, he's a left-handed hitter, and good for him, man. He hit all three of those balls hard. I thought the one he hit for the double might have a chance to get out when he hit it, because that's where the ball was going out, left field, left center that day. But he had good at bats for us, and he's a battler. He's a senior and comes from a baseball family, and really cares. And Evan just hadn't been swinging back good left-handed at all, and so I think what we may try to originally in the game one, Morala Efren was going to catch, but he got hit, his last at bat on Friday, and he had a bone contusion kind of in his lat rib area. He couldn't even swing, and I don't think he'll swing tomorrow. We think he'll be fine by this weekend. So he couldn't catch, so we said, all right. They're starting a lefty. Let's catch Evan in the first game, and we'll catch Jack in the second game. But I think where we may go that way, and Jack will, catch against righties as much as possible, and then we'll see on the lefty. So you're right. I mean, we got to get some offense out of the catcher position. We haven't enough for sure.
Yeah, I think another pitcher I wanted to talk to you about. I know we all know that Nick Sulpizio is a good pitcher. We have seen him do it. We've seen him do it on the mound. Is there anything specific you're working with him right now to try to get him back into that form that we saw from him last year? Like, is it mental? Is it from the stretch? Is just trying to pinpoint kind of what to think about him so far this year?
He is just missing all of his spots. Like, he's throwing the ball right down the middle. And, I mean, he's not getting any swing and misses on anything, fastball, breaking ball. And he's not giving up a ton of, like, rockets. Like, he's giving up singles and ground ball singles, but he's not getting anybody out. I mean, that's 2 outings in a row where he's given up 5 runs, and gotten 1 out. And that blew that, that blew that game open on Wednesday. I mean, we clawed back in. It was 6-5 when he came back in the game. And by the time we got him out, it was 11-5, and so, I mean, pitchers can go through slumps too. And he's early in the year, we thought he was throwing the ball pretty good. And then, his start even against Mississippi State was fine down there, I thought. And then just kind of taking a step back. So, yeah, he's a very talented kid. He's got to really work hard on, some things. I think mentally, I think, just competitively, I think sometimes it starts going sideways for him, and he just gets those shoulders slumped and his body language turns south. And, when you do that, man, like I tell the guys all the time, like, you have to do things to give yourself a chance to get rewarded in this game. Like, the baseball gods are always watching. And if you're bad body language and you mope around, TJ and I have had this talk, and you just look like, oh, poor me, man, they're never going to help you. But if you suck it up and fight through the tough times and you hustle and you play the game the right way, you'll get rewarded eventually. That's how the game works. And it's the same thing on the mound. Like, you got to hit your spots. You can't throw the ball down the middle. But you can't give up either, because when you give up, the whole team's energy goes south, because you're the guy standing in the middle of all of it. Everybody's looking at you, and it's like blood in the water.
And as I say, that energy transfers to the other team because they can see it and feel it.
And they're like, let's kill them,
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen to the broadcast. It sounded like Friday night at App might have been the least win they've ever had there for a baseball game, because I know we had a couple to the track that just didn't have that wind push.
I know, yeah. Kana hit one to right field. It got caught right at the wall, and I think there was maybe Leite, maybe there was another one. But yeah, I mean, again, we just their guy, I'll give him credit. He kept hitting the spot down and away, and the umpire was giving it to him, and we just didn't make enough adjustments in that, to make him have to change. And he threw it in there. He did a good job. You can't take anything away from him, certainly. So
no,
and we got to figure out something with Ben. It's uncanny. Like, Ben starts during the day. This is baseball stuff, right? His day starts have been very good. Georgia Tech, the home, maybe it's only been 2. Home against Georgia State,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was a night game. Second, Charlotte was a day game, and he threw 3-4 good innings, and that one. But his nighttime starts have been not good. Auburn, he wasn't very good.
Southern Miss.
St. Bonaventure, Southern
Yeah.
Miss came in. It was night, and this past weekend, and so I don't know what's going on at night.
Maybe he's a reverse vampire.
Yeah, I know, but I was like, do we just need to start pitching in during the day?
Yeah. Is it an
Yeah.
eyesight thing? I mean, that's how I wonder. Sometimes I see guys, I'm like, especially after Kootenai a few years ago, where these guys just don't realize they can't see.
Well, you think hitters see the ball worse at night. I mean, that's what everybody says.
Yeah.
You see the ball better in the daytime, but I don't know. So hopefully he'll turn that around this weekend. But, I'm thinking about those last couple series at War Memorial, and maybe we just play those all-day games.
Yeah. Well, maybe by then you'll have enough daylight to maybe say light till about 8 o'clock, and you can get through the first 6, and then you're set. Because I mean, we're 6:35 here, and I could still play baseball outside right now. We're good, Richmond.
Got another hour or so of daylight, but so we got Harbor Park this weekend. We got Troy coming in, who's playing very well. I think they're in second place right now. And they had 3 really close games with Marshall this week.
Yeah, they did.
Pretty low scoring for at Troy.
Mm-hmm.
I thought. I was looking because I said, are those games at Marshall? Because Marshall, field can play very big, but Troy's not. And those games were pretty low scoring, so Marshall must have pitched them pretty well.
Yeah, because I think it was what 4-3, 4-3, and I think what was the last game? Was it 7-6?
Yeah,
6-5. Yeah,
6-5. Yeah, and Marshall got that last game.
And Marshall got him one. So that that's and we know the little lefty Blevins is really good for Marshall. I mean, he's been good in the past, but so they Troy's got good pitching too. They've got an older group, and they like to play, so we got to make sure we play well against them.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be some good time for baseball, and I'll be down there for Friday and Saturday. Would love to get a ton of fans out there, make that feel like home. I saw a picture from Harbor Park just the other day, and it was a Tides game or something going on there. That's early season for them. But there were a lot of people wearing ODU gear in those stands for the Tides game. So gives me some hope we're going to get a good crowd out there for this weekend.
They got brand new seats. Come out and enjoy those brand new seats.
Help break them in.
Yeah, and I guess they're having some issues with the parking maybe out there because of the construction for the casino.
Get there early. That's for sure. I think only about 1,000 spaces, I think they said.
Yeah, so we I know some people are shuttling in and things like that. But again, it'd just be nice for the guys to have people cheering for them. Yeah. I mean, we've only had that 3 games really this year. I think it helps immensely sleeping in your own bed, having your fans cheer for you, and over the years we've played pretty well at Harbor Park, so hopefully that magic can continue.
Yeah, we're definitely hoping so. I'm excited to get down there and see a game in Harbor Park, and I was just get to enjoy some college baseball, man. It's a fun thing to do on a Friday night, or I think Saturday or 3 o'clock, so perfect middle of the day, won't disrupt your dinner or anything like that. Come out, because those guys played better in that Georgia State series at War Memorial when that crowd started getting into it, putting some pressure on Georgia State. It was a lot of fun. So it'll do until the new bud is ready to roll here.
That's right. That's what we got to deal with it. And I know you guys, y'all have Zach coming on, right?
Yeah, he's just popped in backstage. Actually,
I'm really proud of Zach. He went through a big adjustment period, I think, in the fall. Trying to work on his conditioning and his body. He wasn't in great shape. He worked really hard on that, his footwork around the bag, becoming a better defensive first baseman. I think he's improved as this year's gone on over there, and just becoming a tougher out. He was a little bit prone to strikeouts in the fall, and man, he's got a ton of 2-strike hits this year, and become a guy that's one of our better guys for driving runs in and hitting the ball. You talk about a guy that uses the whole field. I mean, he's hit extra base hits all over the ballpark. So I'm really proud of him. He's been our most consistent hitter, certainly from the get go, and hopefully we'll keep that up. He's a neat kid, and California smoothie kind of guy, I call him. But he's a good kid, and I'm proud of how he's going about his business. He's a little bit banged up too. He got hit on the hand the other day, and he gutted out that second game. He had a great game for us, but he didn't swing today. He's fine. He just needed kind of a couple days to rest, but he'll be in there, and he's been kind of an anchor point for our lineup when a lot of guys have moved all around. He's been a guy right there, kind of in the middle of it the whole time.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have him on here in just a little bit. What time are y'all heading out over to Charlottesville tomorrow?
I think we're leaving at 12:45, and we'll get there and stretch, take some BP, and play 6 o'clock. It looks like the weather's going to be pretty good, and should be a nice. And it looks like our weather this weekend's pretty good. I think there's a chance of showers maybe Saturday, but not too much. I don't think at this point to worry about. So hopefully weather will be good. We'll get some nice, good fans out there. It'll be a nice weekend for college baseball back in Norfolk.
We love it.
First time this year back in Norfolk.
Yeah, officially back in Norfolk. Yeah, but 6 p.m. game in Charlottesville. If you're listening to this, it's today. ACC Network Extra and Fox Sports Radio 1310 will have the broadcast. I figured out the ACC Network Extra, by the way.
Yeah, how's that work?
So you can watch it on ESPN Plus if your cable or streaming provider has ACC Network.
Okay.
So if you have to have that combo to watch the games, I was good because I think I have every sports.
I think I have it too.
But that's how that works. But if not,
what's your TV provider, Gary?
I switched to YouTube TV.
That's what I have. Okay.
Yep.
So if you have YouTube TV, you're good. What
Yep.
about YouTube?
There you go. I think we were okay with Cox. I think we had last time we wanted to watch some ACC Network. It was fine.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
Yeah,
that's good to know because I think a lot of people don't realize that. But if you have the ACC Network, then you can watch it on ESPN Plus. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. But if you live in Richmond or parts west, it's only about an hour drive over there to District Park in Charlottesville. You can go support them in person. It's a beautiful ballpark if you've never been there before. The renovations they did were just amazing.
Thank you, Ryan Zimmerman.
Yeah,
beautiful ballpark. Yeah. So speaking of ballparks, so we got a little updates. We had like a couple weeks where not a whole lot was going on, in our construction. And I finally talked to just at practice today before practice, the project manager, great guy, Ryan. And he said, the design was off on part of one of the buildings by more than 6 inches.
Oh, wow.
And he said like 2 inches up to 2 inches is acceptable, but 6 is not. So they had to go back to the design, survey, redo that. Long story short, that was the issue. And then now they're going to start pouring the footers and the pads for the building where our locker room and offices and all that will be tomorrow. So that'll be nice to see some stuff going in. It's just looked like a war zone back there. And when stuff starts going up, that's when you start getting excited.
Yeah.
So they're going to wait until the middle of May to close that road down. Parker Avenue is going to actually be completely closed.
Wow.
So they're going to wait till after graduation, so it'll be less.
Makes sense.
Back there, those tennis center people will be complaining like crazy, I'm sure.
Yeah. They're going to complain anyway, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of updates, and he seems to think he's not going to put them off schedule. They're just going to have to make up some time here and there, but they said pretty good weather here for the next 8 months, so that'll be in pretty good shape. So still a go.
All right,
we love it.
That's all that matters. Still a go. Still a go.
Yep.
So definitely excited for the new park, man. That's going to be just a game changer, I think, for the whole program, for the fan experience, for everything.
It is, and I don't think anybody, and I haven't, didn't, don't, whatever, really can understand, the toll that this kind of travel can take on you. Like we have to have some light workouts. The guys got to, I told them you got to take naps, you got to rest more, you got to, because man, it's just like even today I got up and I was like, whew, I know those guys are tired. I'm gassed. A doubleheader and then 7 hours back and all of that. So it's cumulative, right? Like it just keeps adding up. So it's nice to be home for 10 days or so before we got to go down to Georgia Southern. Even next Tuesday we play at Norfolk State, so it's still really close. So we won't have to travel much until we head down to Georgia Southern. And I think these next 9 games are could make you or break you in the conference slate, because it's 9 tough ones. You got Troy at home, and you go to Georgia Southern, and they're always really good at home. And then you got Louisiana coming in. And so fortunately we got, 6 of those 9 at home. So, that'll be big.
Yeah. Right now, all 3 of those teams are in the top 5 of the Sun Belt. So you're not kidding about tough competition. We already know it's tough just being in the Sun Belt. But that will be a test. You'll kind of have a pretty good idea of where you're going to be, I think, after those 9 games.
Yeah, without a doubt. And after Louisiana, I think none of it's easy, but I think the schedule lightens up a little bit for us in terms of that, and we just got to hang in there through this next 9 and do our best and try to win our share of them, and then maybe make some hay down the stretch.
Absolutely. Well, most important game is the game tomorrow. UVA would love to hang another L on those guys, because we do actually have the all-time series lead against Virginia. So
wow, that's good.
Keep building.
And we've beaten them up there a handful of times, through the years, and so it's not like we've never won up there. We've won up there a few times, and none of it's easy. I mean, well, the one time we whacked them pretty good in 22. But most of the other wins have been kind of back and forth, very close games.
That was some of the best days that I had working up there. I'd have 100 staff working that UVA baseball game, and ODU's coming to town, and I've got my ODU shirt underneath my polo, and we'd be up like 7-3 in the 9th, and I'm just sitting over there going, hold on. It was great times.
Yeah, it was good. So I saw they're obviously playing better. They swept Stanford this weekend at home, I think. So it's just crazy to say that, isn't it? They swept Stanford.
Yeah, the ACC win. Yeah, classic Atlantic Coast schools. Stanford.
Yeah, they should name it All Coast Conference now.
Yeah, right.
Coast.
There you go. Yeah, that worked.
So, but that's every league nowadays. So, you got UCLA playing in the Big Ten against Rutgers.
Good Thursday night football matchup there, right? Classic.
Yeah, crazy. So, well, I'll let you guys get to it with Zach. And as always, thanks, fellas. And anybody that had any questions this week?
No questions this week, but I have a feeling I'm going to fill my little notepad at Harbor Park Friday and Saturday. So come find me and I'll ask if you're
come find Gary. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Come find Gary. Thanks, guys. Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs. Thanks, Coach.
Go Monarchs.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back. We will have Zach with us.
This episode of the Monarchist Podcast is brought to you by the Pride of ODU Collective. Their mission is to elevate the experience of student athletes through name, image, and likeness, while also elevating the fan experience. If you or your business are interested in getting involved, you can reach out to us directly or go over to theprideofodu.com. That is theprideofodu.com. Thank you for listening, and go Monarchs.
Welcome back, Monarch fans of the Hudson Homers podcast. We are now joined by Zach Leite, who had an awesome weekend on the road at App State. Zach, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard you were excited when you got the invite. Are we becoming like a thing with the baseball team now with being on the road?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, even my mom watches and lets me know about what's going on the podcast. So, yeah, it's cool to be on here for sure.
I think that's 90% of our listeners, but I'll gladly take that. 90%.
I'm fine with that. If most of our listeners are just the family members, we're good with that. Because I met your mom there, Warren Morris, a great lady. So that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the first time they'll be able to come out and see you play with ODU?
Yeah, it was. It was my mom and my brother, so it was really cool
Yeah.
to be able to play in front of them for sure.
And are they still back in California?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all right. So that we'll start there. You're from California. How the heck do you end up at Old Dominion in Norfolk, Virginia?
Yeah, so I mean, I got reached out to by Finny, and I came out here on a visit. Um, a smooth 6-hour flight out here one way. Yeah, I just checked it out. I love the area. To me, it actually just seemed like home. So there was no real problems there. I just loved everything about it. I loved all the players that I met. They were super nice to me, and so just felt like I said, like home. So that was that for me.
That's awesome, man. So you're originally from Dana Point, California, which I have no idea
Yep.
where that is. I know California is huge. Can you give us East Coasters who don't know anything about it, like where kind of in the state it is?
Yeah, yeah. So if you know where San Diego is,
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
it's just a little bit more north of San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much right there.
Okay.
And then you played JUCO at Orange Coast College, which is in Costa Mesa. So where is that in relation to, I guess, the state and then Dana Point?
Yeah, that's also like just 30 minutes north. So super close to home for me, which was
Oh,
was
nice.
perfect for the JUCO route.
Yeah, that's great. So tell us a little about playing there at JUCO, and yeah, so get to play, I guess, close to home is nice, right?
Yeah, it was really nice. Being able to play in front of my family every day was awesome for sure. Um, yeah, being close to home and the high school and everything. Um, playing with a lot of guys that I know, playing with against a lot of guys that I know too. So yeah, I think it was a pretty cool environment for sure.
Has that been like a big culture shock for you? I mean, because that's the exact opposite of what you have going now, where you're not playing in front of your family like at all, and you're not playing against anybody you know.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, hearing the guys talking about all these players that they know on different teams and me having no clue who really anybody is. It's definitely a little bit different and kind of weird, but I mean, I like it getting to know all these new people. It's honestly, it's awesome.
I got to reach back in the brain archives here from something a girlfriend from long ago. So Dana Point's near Laguna Beach, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. I thought I remember a reference to it in that show that I was unfortunately forced to watch at the time. But that area of Southern California is awesome. I've been out to San Diego, stayed at Mission Beach, did all the stuff down there. Like I think people forget that area south of LA exists sometimes, and it's one of the
Yeah.
best parts of California, really.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I loved growing up there. Doesn't get much better than that for me.
Yeah, I mean,
So how is
perfect
getting to
weather.
play in the most glamorous places in like Mississippi and Alabama comparing to getting to play in Southern California?
Oh, it's very different, but I've had a blast getting to play in these amazing places, go to a bunch of states that I've never been to. I mean, yeah, I've loved every second of it.
Yeah, we'll check back in with you after the Louisiana Monroe series and see how you're feeling on those other ballparks and things like that. But
All right,
we'll
all
hold
right,
you to that
cool.
now. Yeah,
I
go.
really enjoyed that moment after you hit the home run there in Biloxi. I mean, you were jacked up in the dugout, and like I got that really great picture of you celebrating. It was like I was like, man, you just see a lot of guys like go like, right for the camera. It's like you were trying to find it that day. Was
Oh
that
yeah.
what it was, or you just so jacked up you didn't even know what was going on?
No, I was fired up. I was looking right for you. I wanted to get a cool picture going for the
There
fellas.
we go.
Yeah, that was
I
cool.
love it. That's awesome.
That is one of the sickest photos in ODU
Yeah,
baseball
that's
history.
fun.
I just want to say
Yeah,
that is awesome.
and R.I.P. the chain.
Oh man, I'm gonna miss it. It was cool to wear it for the first two.
Yeah, it's all
Well,
right.
you got the
I like the
hard hat
construction
now.
helmet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the hard hat's very good. I like that new addition.
Yeah, very fitting for this team because the construction's going on at home, but you all have just been stuck on the road pretty much the whole time. What's
Yeah.
that experience been like for you, just living in and out of hotels for weeks at a time?
For me, I got to get a little bit of a taste for it over the summer. I played for a summer ball team that also had no home field, so we were traveling everywhere. Like we would go 6 hours to play one game, 6 hours back home. So honestly, like, I would like to say, it's kind of nothing too new to me. I mainly just had a lot of fun going to all these new places with my brothers, and just competing and enjoying the new states and places.
Yeah. Coach Finny talked a little bit about some adjustments you've made from the fall coming into the spring. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Yeah, I think for the most part over the fall, me and Finny talked about it. I was just getting too big, trying to do too much, and most of my at bats. And so I kind of just worked on like trusting what I got, trusting my swing, my eyes, everything like that, letting the ball travel, and not trying to get too big and hit homers every at bat, and just more so put the ball in play. I think has been a really big help for sure.
That's one thing that's so impressive about you, because you are certainly a guy that can hit the ball off the wall, over the wall anytime. But
Mhm.
we've seen a lot of at bats where you're just putting that ball in play the other way. I mean, that's huge for a team to have the
Mhm.
guy, who really is the best hitter on the team, frankly, let's be real at the moment, and probably throughout the rest of the year, to be able to
Thank
do
you. I
that. I
appreciate
mean,
it.
yeah, I mean, so is that a thing you're constantly thinking of, like, hey, I got to be this guy for the team?
Um, I mean, not too much. I mean, I like to think sometimes, I can kind of get the fellas rolling with a hit here and there. But I also trust all the boys above and behind me to spark it as well. So I think it's just a mixture of both.
Yeah, and you had like a really impressive at bat that ended in a walk earlier this season. It was against Georgia State on that Sunday, and
Mhm.
the pitcher had been filling up the zone all day, kind of getting a lot of soft contact and things like that. You go down an 0-2 hole, you battle back. I think you fouled off 3 or 4 pitches, end up drawing the walk. Do you feel
Mhm.
like your eye for that ball has just gotten better as the season has gone on, or is that just kind of how you've always been able to operate in the box?
I think I've always sort of had it, but I think sometimes it comes and goes a little bit with, like I said earlier, trusting the eyes and just going out there and competing and not really worrying about everything else. I think when I do that well, I tend to see the ball really well.
So I love that you refer to the guys as brothers. I think that's awesome. Who have you gotten the closest with on the team, you think? Like, who are the guys you're like, these are, yeah, we're all brothers, but this is like my favorite brother?
Definitely my roommate, Scotty Young. We just like, you'll always see us together. We're just always hanging out. We're boys for sure. It's been great being able to be roommates with him. I've had a great time.
Yeah, he's those guys. First day I met him, I'm like, this kid's awesome. I'm a huge fan. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
he's a
totally believe
character for sure.
that. What's been your favorite thing, non-baseball at ODU? Again, it's your whole other side of the country. What have you found? Like, again, I mean, I'm sure it might even be hard because you spend so much time with all the guys. But what's the thing
Mhm.
that you're like, okay, this is what I like out here?
Um, I know you didn't really want me to reference the guys in this aspect, but like just first getting here and the way that they kind of just treated me and embraced me, that was by far my favorite part. Like just welcoming me right away was awesome. I love that so much.
That's good.
That's
I'll
awesome.
accept it. It's fine.
Yeah. Is it just you and Scotty in your apartment where you're at?
It's me, Scotty, and Tehran. So
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
you got an
yeah,
awesome house. That
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That's like this is
Yeah,
like the
lots
all
of fun over
personality
here for
house.
sure.
Yeah.
we'll
Oof.
wait for like some.
I'll put that one up against any other house. Jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like there could be a stand-up comedy competition in that house at some
Man.
point. So,
Oh, no doubt. I think Tehran would definitely take the cake for that one.
all right. Well, we've asked all the guys who've come on this year with college football video game coming back. We've got some college stuff in the new MLB The Show.
Mhm.
What would be your overall rating, and like what subcategory would you have the highest rating in as a hitter?
Ooh, I mean, I got to put myself at the 99, right?
Yes, we got someone
And
this year that did it.
There
of
we
course,
go.
I
Finally.
just have to. Why not, right? And then definitely want to boost the power stats up for sure. That's got to be the go-to.
Yeah,
No
if you're
doubt.
99 overall, I think you got to be 99 power against left
Oh,
and
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
I love it. All the false humility these guys have. I love it. This is what we need. It's like, no, I am a 99. This is
Yeah,
why I'm the best.
Why not?
It's a video game. Let's go, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. I'm about to say, is there any video game competition going on in the house, or is that can't do that this time of year?
I would like to say that we can't do that at this time of year, but there definitely is some video gaming going on for sure with me and Scotty. Yeah.
What's the hot game right now? What are y'all playing?
The go-to, you guys probably have not heard of it. It's called Sea of Thieves. It's where you're a pirate and you sail the 7 seas. It's awesome. We have a great time on that.
Is it like an open world game, or is that like a story? How does that one work?
Yeah, it's an open world game. You get to go around and collect treasure and all that sort of thing. It's pretty cool.
So you guys are you're leaving the locker room, you're like, all right, we're gonna go search for some booty, and everyone thinks you're talking about something else. All right.
There's nothing wrong with playing some video games in season to blow off stress.
Yeah.
If
the irony, because
you
played for the Orange Coast Pirates, right? Look at you.
Yeah.
So this is just in your blood.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Pirate for life for sure.
The pirate life's for me.
Yeah, as long as it's not East Carolina. As long as it's not East Carolina, we're good on that. So.
Oh yeah, no, not them.
Nah.
Yeah. So for you, I know you're a junior, but I know that sometimes that classification is just really for the website. What are your plans beyond this season, if you have any at all yet?
I'm just kind of playing it by ear, I mean, I'm definitely coming back here, but if somehow, get picked up, I'm definitely taking that chance for sure. But yeah, playing it by ear.
I'm about to say,
has that been like a dream and a goal for you?
Oh yeah, I've been dreaming about being a professional baseball player since I was a little kid. So yeah, that's definitely the end goal.
Me too, but you actually have a chance to do it. I think the dream might be dead for me. I keep dreaming it, but every year
you never know. You never know. I think
every year the draft comes around, I'm like, I'm lefty. I got a fresh arm. There's no miles on this arm, and they don't.
Yeah, some team could use that for sure.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt.
I think there's a Monarch that's the oldest player in the 4 main pro sports now with Verlander. I think he's gonna be 43 before the playoffs. So there's still hope for us, CB.
He's still younger than me. That's the funny part.
All right, so there's hope for me, but no, that's not. But Zach, if you don't get picked up this year, at least you'll have the opportunity to come play in basically a brand new ballpark next season with real home games.
Oh yeah, that's super exciting. For sure.
Yeah. Well, Zach, what have we not asked you that you want to tell Monarch fans or anyone else who might be listening?
I'm not really sure about that one.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just a guy that loves playing ball and going out there and competing with the boys every day.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's about it.
Nothing wrong with that. That's awesome.
This is great because I haven't talked to you a ton as I've been out there, because you always look like you're like so serious and ready to play that I don't want to bug you. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and maybe that's just because you're just like in the mode. You're loving it. You're probably having a blast in your head.
Oh yeah.
But you just have this like dead serious face the whole time. So I'm like I can kind of say what's up and kind of try to stay out of your way.
Yeah, no, you can come say what's up to me whenever. I'll put the smile on my face when you say hey to me. It's all good. I'm locked in, but you can always come say what's up.
We love it. Good, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed as a bigger size lefty myself. I'm a big fan. I'm always rooting for the guys that I'm like, that was kind of my body type when I was playing. I'm into it.
That's great. I love to hear that.
All right. Well, awesome, Zach. We appreciate you taking some time out of your day to come chat with us. I know you got a 12:45 departure to Charlottesville and then a big weekend against Troy coming up, but really appreciate the time. It was great to meet you.
Great to meet you guys too. Great to be on here. Thank you guys a lot.
Yeah, man. Look for it. Going to be a good week for you. Get to play at Harbor Park and at Disharoon there at UVA. That's a couple more nice stadiums for the belt there.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to check it out.
All right, man. Well, good luck. Great talking to you, Zach.
Thank you. Great talking to you guys.
Appreciate it, bud. Good kid. Yeah. No, I'm serious. I've like that's the most. That's like 50 times as much as I've talked to him all since the fall. because like he always looks so serious and locked in that I'm like, I don't want to mess with this guy.
Yeah, he even looked locked in like after the games against Georgia State and all that. So
Yeah.
I think until that series is over, man, he is dialed in and it's showing up. Like you said, he was the best hitter on the team right now, and statistically, you can't argue with it. Hitting,
he is. Well,
was it?
Speaking of him being the best hitter on the team.
Oh yes, congratulations!
Oh, look at that! What a segue! Look at us. Yes, he is. He and I, of course, don't have it pulled up as we do it. He had 3 hits in that final game, and for the week he had. Oh crap! This is just.
I think I have it. I think it was 5 for 15.
He was 5 for 15, 2 doubles, 3 RBIs, 3 walks, and a hit by pitch. So another great week. He really, I think he arguably could have been the player of the week last week. I know he won it at least one other time this year. He's been a very consistent hitter for us. He's hitting about 350 for us right now. Yeah, 350, 991 OPS. I mean, he's leading the team in doubles. I think Zach's been doing it. And we talked about Frank Wright earlier. I mean, it was, again, wasn't a ton of outstanding pitches. Ethan Hubble had a great outing in the first game, or in the first game on Saturday, but he didn't pitch as well on Tuesday. So that kind of, to me, that's why we picked Frankie. I think he, again, looking like a guy who's kind of becoming another reliable arm at that bullpen, which is what we really need.
Yeah, and I think that's what they wanted from Frankie to begin with. He's a veteran guy who transferred in, and I think he's just kind of getting up to speed now. And they're going to find a role for him somewhere. But if he continues this trend of improving the way he's looked on the mound, that's just such a weapon for us to be able to roll out on either Friday or Saturday, whenever, and potentially could even start some midweek games for us. But I think at this point, Finny was kind of alluding to it. Yeah. We got to save everything we can in the tank for these Sun Belt series, because that's really what's going to make or break us as we go down the stretch.
Yeah, we like winning on Tuesdays. I mean, we need to get one. We have not won midweek yet this year, but that's the truth. Like I said, 21 more Sun Belt games. Let's go win those.
Yeah, if we could start with UVA and winning a midweek, that'd be great. But there's also a couple against VCU and Richmond, and I know we want to get those wins. And then, of course, I think everyone's got the JMU series up in Harrisonburg later this year circled, which they're having kind of a similar season to us. They don't have nearly the strength of schedule, but they're right there with us at 4-5 in the Sun Belt. They're 9-19 overall. They just got swept up this past weekend, losing 4 straight. But I mean, Sun Belt's wide open. Southern Miss 7-2. They dropped one to South Alabama this weekend. You got Troy, Coastal, Louisiana at 6-3. You got 3 more teams at 5-4. You got 4 teams at 4-5. Like, it's still very much wide open, and you get hot for a couple weekends and you can find yourself in the top 3 of this conference. I like that, because it is just a meat grinder, as we always say, to get through it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we said this all last season. We're going to say this all this season. I'm sure that at any point you can start doing the things and have the things start falling and going, and your fortunes can turn around entirely. This is a talented team. There's a lot of talent in this team. The question is, can they make it all happen at the same time?
A little bit of improvement here and there, but it'll be a tough test against Troy. I mean, they're ranked for a reason. They play good ball. We know that we're going to see our good friend Stephen Meyer, who's having a hell of a year for Troy.
Hell of a year. What was he, 360? Where is that at? 362, 10 doubles, a triple, 5 homers, 20 RBIs. He's got 16 steals. 40 runs. I mean, he is he's doing it all, which is not surprising. When he's healthy, we've known this. When he's healthy, he's a beast. I thought it was funny when we played the opening montage there, and they had the picture of Feynman, because Ryan Feynman is a coach of Troy now, so we're going to see him. So it's nice to see a couple of guys we know, and with a good opponent.
Yep, should be a good contest. Can't recommend enough just getting to Harbor Park for one of these games this weekend. You don't have to go to 2 or 3. If you want to, that's fantastic. But just get out there to 1. Go support these guys. You're going to see some good pitching, good matchup between 2 really good baseball programs right now. I am excited. I'll go talk to Steven for a little bit. I won't boo him. He went to Troy, so I can't.
No, I'm not going to boo him. He's great. He's a guy. I don't like to boo any of the other team guys unless they do something out of pocket, because, like, in general, they're just college kids. I mean, I've seen enough guys that with other teams that end up playing for ODU. There's no reason to do it. Some people love it. That's not me.
Yeah, no, I'd just rather just cheer for our guys, but
Yeah.
I won't necessarily be cheering for him to do well unless, if the game's out of reach, he can do.
Oh, if he goes 0 for the weekend, I won't be sad about it. He can get all his hits another week. He's hitting 362. He can stand to go 0 for 12. He'll be fine.
Yeah, but if I could not see him do that amazing bat flip he had against Coastal Carolina, if you haven't seen it, you need to go track that down because it got Coastal worked up to say the least. But we know that Stephen Meyer, he's hit some clutch home runs for us, so
he's great. Yeah, looking forward to seeing him. Looking forward to seeing him play again. Hope we sweep him.
Yes, that's the perfect way.
We'll
all right. Well, I think that'll do it for us today. Appreciate all of you who are listening in. Definitely tell your friends if they're not listening. I will see you at Harbor Park Friday, Saturday.
Yes, go find Gary and ask him a lot of questions and talk to him about all your thoughts and opinions. I'll be busy taking pictures.
I'll get one of those deli take a number tickets and get to everybody over the course of the weekend.
If you find me, I'll be sure to point out wherever he is for you.
I appreciate your support with that, CB. I'm going to let them know where to find all your pictures.
This thing came down. The one side came down about 39 minutes in. The other side came down about when Zach joined.
Oh, I actually missed the other side, but the first side fell down 38:56. If you're keeping track at home,
I think right about when Zach. So I literally put it up just for this. So we got to get a better solution, but that's okay. All right. So I appreciate it. I'm going to go try to watch Jackson Okonkwo over at Greenbrier Christian and see some of our future. We love it.
Awesome. We'll see you all this weekend. Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.